Hi again, folks. In this video, I want to discuss what is our current leadership in the team right now as we speak. Coming up. All right, this one goes out to Digger Manager. I'm pretty sure that's MGR what it stands for, right, Digger? Digger Manager. And Digger asked, who is our current leadership right now? And I'm going to go beyond the players and say that it is Kevin Adams and it's Granato behind the bench. I mean, I got to go with Adams and GM. I got to say that's our leadership right now because, as you've seen in a video I just did for a trade, we lack that kind of leadership. We lack that kind of grit. We lack that kind of guy that's going to stand up in the dressing room. And who's going to listen to a guy like Dylan Cousins yet? It's too soon. The only guy I can think of maybe is Colin Miller. That's about it. There's not, we don't really have any leaders. We don't. They're going to have to find their way this year. That's why this season's going to be a fun one for us. We're going to see a lot of players fail, and we're going to see a lot of players, I believe, succeed also. We're going to see guys that are going to grip the bull by the horns and really try to make it on this team forever and stay here. And I can see Dylan Cousins being one of those guys. I can easily, though, once Dylan Cousins starts shaving, 23, 24, 25 years old, once he's 24, I could see him being a captain. I could, I could see Rasmus Dahlin being our captain, but he's got to get more of a mean streak going because he's not much of a threat physically on the ice. And who would you guys want in a Game 7 in the final? Scott Stevens or Rasmus Dahlin? Think about it. It's an easy call, right? You got to get somebody that's out there and that's physical. I know we live in the era where points matter when it comes to contracts and how we evaluate players, but it doesn't tell you a guy's heart. You can't take analytics and break down a guy's heart and passion in analytics. You just can't. Analytics can lie to you that way a lot. Jack Eichel, perfect example. Really, Jack's a perfect example. Jack's always seems to have been in this for himself. I'll be honest with you. Jack Eichel rubbed me the wrong way as our captain the minute he changed his number to number 9. I didn't like that move. I thought it was selfish, inconsiderate, self-centered. I didn't like it. It bothered me. I don't care if he had it before. Really. Tons of people bought jerseys with number 15 on it. What is that? Didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And if I'm right, he offered some kind of compensation to the fans. Didn't he, to some of them? I think. That's what I remember anyway. That doesn't make up for it. Doesn't make up for the headache, Doesn't make up for the kid getting a Christmas gift that year with number 15 and now he's number 9. It's like, it's just not cool. Wasn't a cool move. So I want the kind of leader that when he's on the ice, he loses his goddamn mind. That's the kind of guy I want leading our team. I don't believe we have that kind of player right yet. We might with Dylan Cousins. I shouldn't say that. With Dylan Cousins, we might. He's the only guy in this team that showed a lot of guts last year when it comes to fighting. And for me, that's huge. And Dylan Cousins was ready to drop his gloves. Even if it's to take one for the team. I hope it's not against a guy like Wilson. So we've got to get some guys on our team like the Tkachuk brothers, like I was talking earlier. This is why I'm targeting players like that, because if we don't get those type of players, we're doomed. I believe we're doomed. We're just doomed. We're not going to win any kind of Stanley Cup or anything. You got to get players that winning means everything to them. Everything. Nothing matters more than winning. Doesn't matter. They're willing to take a puck in the face. They don't care. Nothing. They hate losing so bad, they forget they're millionaires in that 2.5 hours that they're skating out there. Not these prima donnas that are out there trying not to go in the corners like Sam. Sam was horrible at that. Sorry. I know some of you like Sam Reinhart. I did too. But when I seen what kind of a wuss he was in the corners, it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts. The guy was scared to check. I can't stand that in a player, really. People say, well, he had a high IQ. Okay, so this isn't school, it's hockey. Give me a guy with guts any day over the high IQ thing, please. Any day. I never heard the Kachuk brothers have high IQs, and take a look. You know, you wouldn't want them in our lineup? Come on. You know, so we've got to get guys like that, I believe, to have leaders. Once we have leaders like that, we're good to go. Look at the movie Slapshot. Remember how things changed once they got the Hanson brothers in? They were already a gritty team, but they needed that psycho edge. You know, they brought these guys in, and all of a sudden they were just crazy to play against because they weren't scared of nothing. They knew how to be dirty behind the play, all of it. Oh, there's a lot of things that go on in hockey. My God, you know, and you got to be able to cope with that. And I don't think Sam had that in him. You know, I don't. People say, well, you know, we lost Sam. Yeah, I know. Thank God. Thank God. You know, I want, that guy was never going to take us in a playoff run, ever. So we need guys that can, even if they're not as gifted talent-wise, let's say. But these Kachuk brothers are, you know, they're way better than Sam. We all know that. But I'm giving examples. If we can get gritty guys like that, and I believe, okay, and I'm going to close on this, grit attracts grit around the league. If you got a team that's gritty and angry and mean, you're going to have a lot of players that have that edge on their chip on their shoulder, that are fed up being on a wuss team, that'll say, I want to go over there and play. I don't care what their record is. At least over there, they stand up for each other, Christ. You know, and you're going to attract players like that. You will. And this is what I want to see happen. This is my wish for the future leadership of our team, is that we get some guys that have edge, sandpaper, grit, anger, frustration, hate to lose, all those things. Not somebody who can stick handle nice and pick off a top corner. That doesn't win Stanley Cups, no. No, you know, it just doesn't unless you have an edge around you. You have to have. Look, I mean, look at the Islanders dynasty with Clark Gillies, you know, even Butch Goring had some edge to his game. I mean, you got to have some guys that have that animal instinct when they're out there. And I found that with what we had going on, it was a bunch of spoiled brats last year, and we seen the end result. Thank God we didn't sign, what's his name there? I forget his name. See, I blocked him out already. That's always a good thing, folks, when I block out his name in Boston. You know, once we got rid of him, and then Jack wanted out, and then Sam wanted out, all the guys that were kind of soft up front wanted out. Well, good God, we can open up all this cap and we can change things. We can really, really change things, you know? I don't know. It's just kind of how I see it. We've got to get some guys with edge. We really, really do. You know, Taylor Hall, that's who I was thinking. But when it come to like Hall, he had no edge to his game. None. He's not physical at all, this guy. And I don't think Boston will be happy with that contract eventually. I don't. They made a mistake, I think, with Ullmark, a big mistake. We all know Ullmark's made of glass. In Buffalo, we know. We're not that stupid. I mean, but I guess maybe their doctor said, no, he'll be okay. So maybe they probably checked all in that. They're not a dumb organization either, so I'm pretty sure they checked all that. We'll see. All right, that's my take on our leadership right now. Granato and Adams. That's where it's at. Sorry to say it, but that's where it's at. Till somebody evolves in that dressing room and takes the team like this and says, God damn it, guys, enough. Like, you know, once you got a guy like that in there, something happens. We had a guy like that once named Mike Pekka. You know, perfect example. All right, folks. See you in the next one.